Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Direwolf20's 1.16 pack, where today we're going to try and get and process a ridiculous amount of ores. It's going to take a bit of work. Right, so we got this contraption here, based on the poll I put out before last episode came out. And what people are most interested in seeing is some ridiculous ore / power / processing. So that's what we're going to work on. So I'm going to build a bunch of environmental tech void miners. Keep building them until we run out of power. And then once we run out of power, we obviously work on... I'll set up my nuclear reactor when I have to. It's still not running at the moment because our 2 power reactors in the base, so making more than enough to keep things running. And we'll just see how far we can push this. To be honest, I've never seriously pushed for like ridiculous ore processing, so I don't know what the lag situation will be like once we get heaps of stuff going. So yeah, this is all just crafting a bunch of components. And I might even get some void miners, void ore miners going, because we're going to be starting to use a lot more resources for building all this stuff. So I've been doing a bit in between. We got about 360 of these components. Now, so obviously if you're making, say, 300, you wanted to make 300 ironite frames. These require the previous one, so 300 of these requires 300 of these, and so on. So we've got about 3,000 litherite ones. I'm probably not going to make a bunch of tier 1 void miners. And we might even be able to make another tier 6. I don't think I actually started making any tier 6 ones. We got the 90, which is the 90 for the frames. So if we come over here, we've probably got enough crystals at the moment. And our next crystal miner is going to be, in the end, the tier 6 one. So I'm going to convert, for a start, all of these guys to ore miners. So at the moment he's the only ore miner. So we take these cards out. And let's just see what we've got at the moment. Now my programmer is hiding in this contraption. And we want some... Okay, this has changed. I did just update the pack. That's interesting. Mineral ore miner, metallic ore miner, gemstone ore miner. Is there a manual yet? So yeah, it'd be interesting to know what else has changed. Ore miners. So I'm going to assume a metallic ore miner. I guess we'll get a mineral ore miner. Gemstone ore miner seems like it'd be diamonds and stuff. So I guess gemstone, mineral, and metallic. So metallic must be like iron and stuff. So if we were to check, actually let's test this. Let's figure out exactly what's happening. Okay, so we'll use this guy because he's the fastest. Alright, so if we set this to extract, and if we put gemstone ore miner in there, what does that get? Dimensional shards and quartz ore. Fluorite, apatite. So this seems like it'll be a pretty quick way to figure out what we're going to get from it. And I'd assume we'd get diamonds as well. Okay, well, I mean, potentially the only useful... Well, I mean, to be honest, nothing's particularly useful. Like, we don't need anything. So, let's try mineral. Coal, sulfur, redstone. I mean, probably want that for the redstone. Bunch of coal ore. So that's, I mean, that is a handy one. We definitely want one of them. So mineral ore, we'll set one of these smaller ones to that. And we'll set this guy to a gemstone. And then metallic ore miner. I would imagine it's your gold, silver, lead ore. Maybe diamonds, or did that just happen to turn up? Diamond might have just turned up before I pulled the thing out. Ancient debris is metallic, uraninite. Cool, so kind of what you expect. Alright, awesome. So I think metallic ore is probably the one we're going to go for the most. Oh, is our power getting low? Because that's the stuff that we can process in our ore processing. What was that nickel there? Oh, and since I've updated the pack, that wasn't on split. I'm telling you, ore processing is already struggling to keep up. Okay. I mean, fair enough if that's the case. Let's mute these noises. Oh, that's better. That was so noisy. So yeah, we are reaching a bottleneck already. Maybe just because I happen to chuck a whole bunch of ore in there at once. No, these are going up faster. Okay, so we're already running into problems. Probably doesn't help I'm trying to quadruple these ores. We might have to abandon that as a strategy, but we'll see how we go. So you're getting hydrogen chloride, and you must be getting that underneath. Okay. Well, let's teach the recipes for these factories, because we're going to need to make a bunch of these, I suspect. I don't know whether to try and... because we might be getting way too much ore to justify quadrupling it. What's our power situation? We're still making more than we're using. And we want ultimate... oh, these could still be ultimate tier. Alright, let's teach that as an upgrade. Or as a pattern, rather. And we should probably know how to make all of these. And we're possibly getting held up because I haven't set the... oh, these don't eject. Ah, that's an issue. Exporter, exporting from the system. We don't have any importers on these guys. Alright, so we need 4 importers. Oh, we can't just do this and connect them all that way. So you want to export out the front. And you want to export, oops, out the front as well. I think I just hadn't actually used these machines properly. Okay, so we got our tier upgrades. Still waiting on one. Actually, what is that waiting on? It may not have worked. Actually, it seemed like we were missing. So you guys, that's a crushing factory, that's not what I want. Infusing factory. Yeah, you should work now. Maybe just when I was breaking the cables. Well, that worked, making 1. And these guys are fine. Yeah, we've got a bit of a hold up happening here. So yeah, we need an injecting factory. And we'll teach all the recipes up for the next one. Then purifying. And my prediction is we're going to need, like for every one of these, maybe we'll need like 2 of these guys. Because this can't keep up. So we'll start with another purifying. And he's almost keeping up. Right, okay. So let's teach these recipes for a start. Okay, so just taught the recipe for all the different factories, I think. So we come up here. We can see there's a big bottleneck in our injection factory because we're waiting on the purifying factory. So let's get another purifying factory. Ultimate purifying factory. You know what? It almost seems like it didn't work. And I suspect that's probably because it thinks it didn't finish the... Processing infused alloy. Oh, I know what's happening. Some of these machines are auto-outputting to the side. And that's causing our problems. Because I've got auto-eject on, like these are coming straight into this machine and we're ending up with extra of these. That's what's going on. Ultimate purifying factory. Yep, that was the problem. Probably would pay to check that here. These are all inputs. Yeah, okay. There we go. Sorted. So, now you take this ultimate pressurized tube. That's going to be a pain. That is going to be a pain to not let it touch that stuff. Kind of... It's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. So it goes crushing, enriching, smelting. Power would be easy to get across. But it's this gas line that's the trouble. Yeah, we can probably save a bit of space. Well, if power was going along the back of at least these machines, because these, I mean, they'll still need to be connected. And we'll just, I think we'll do another flux. Do another flux here. Then we need that gas, we need pressurized tube. And it's coming into this guy. Could come along here. It only half solves our problem. Because really we need gas. I mean, if we're going to do the power around the back, which seems like the case. Sure. I mean, that's not ideal, but I mean, it's more just a visual thing. Oh, pirates. We better go check on those pirates, because since I've updated the pack, and let's sleep so we don't listen to rain. Mine colonies did get updated, so... Pirates on the northwest. There may actually be pirates on the ship this time. I think there might be a bug in mine colonies. Maybe. Just maybe. Gunpowder and sand, nice. I still don't see any spawners. Oh wow, there's Prismarine. That's some not bad early game loot. Kelp. Sure, these pirates got a lot of junk. But yeah, looks like still no actual pirates and a little bit of an issue with the generation of the boat. So, we had power along here. I was going to run this pressurized tube across and in. So, if we were doing that, we would then want a logistical transporter. And I guess we'll go ultimate. Coming out of you, and we're going to say that you also output out the front. Nice, and then we definitely need those upgrades. gas upgrades made a big difference. So that's a must. Now, I think a potential issue we could start running into is our ender chest not keeping up with how much stuff comes in. In fact, that's definitely going to be a thing that happens. So let's get a new ender chest system. Got some ender chests here. Probably got some dyes. We'll go with, I don't think I've used light blue. Light blue at the front is now going to be our ore processing chest. And we're about to block it up. Nice. And this guy needs to be auto-eject on, auto-eject on, and so forth. And split as well. And we're running out of oxygen. We are running out of oxygen. That's cool. I mean, to be expected. Now let's sort our ender chest. Because this needs an importer into the system as well. And I guess we'll scout the front. Importer. We'll get a stack upgrade. And we're already holding on to some speed upgrades. And this is all going to get imported into the system. Perfect. Okay, so we're running out of oxygen now. I like how my system was not ready for this at all. I think this guy was missing some speed upgrades. Get another 4 speed upgrades. I think there was a reason I didn't have maximum upgrades in this guy. I mean, he's probably drawing a bit of power. 40,000 RF attack. Not an issue at the moment. And hey, that's enough oxygen. Awesome. So yeah, you're keeping up. You're pretty full. You're pretty full. So 1 ultimate injection factory can support 2 ultimate purifying factories at least. I think we might be using slightly more power than we're making. Regardless, we've got plenty of stored power at the moment, so it's not a big deal. I think we're fine for power. Definitely enough that we can make another line. And I probably didn't need to have another ender chest right there when that one's there, but that's okay. Right, I'll whip up one more line of these machines and we'll see how things are doing. Alright, so we have our 3rd line of setup, and seems like this guy is just starting to get through some of the ores. Split almost doesn't seem like the best choice, although we're not actually getting ores coming all the way up here. Now, there were logistical sorters, right? And I believe these could do things like round robin. I wonder if we could set this up here. So we probably want single. Single is on. So now he'll send a stack. And hey, he's sending quite a bit. I mean, it's a very annoying noise. So now you're full of osmium, you're full of iron, you're getting full of copper because these guys are still not keeping up. Maybe this is where auto sort is a bad thing. What if this guy didn't have auto sort on? Then he'd fit more of whatever was waiting to be processed. I mean, that seems to be working pretty good. Like you're working at not quite full capacity. You're kind of working perfectly. It's kind of the best we could hope for. You are not doing anything. I mean, okay, now you're working. I mean, that's kind of going. I think we are using more power than we're making now, though. Sort of see it kind of flickers between using nothing and using like 140,000. So we say if that was it 155.6. There we go. We just saw it go down to 155.59. So slowly drawing some of our power. These guys are keeping up with oxygen. I mean, these pipes hold so much oxygen that it's hard to tell. Oh, you're out of something. Sulfur? We have no sulfur. There we go, we got some sulfur. Is this just ending up? It's ending up straight in here. So sulfur is an issue. Ah, the reason for that will be I never had a sink hooked up to the chemical washer, so we weren't actually processing any of our uranium. So we have a whole heap of uranium left to process. We have 1,000 uranium. I kind of want to chuck it just in here to process it, because we have so much. I think we're getting through our ores. I think this number is going down. But it looks like we're kind of at a good point. So it seems one injecting factory, I mean, this uranium might be causing it to play up a bit, but one injecting factory is enough to handle 3 purifying factories. We're making enough oxygen for that. So that's pretty cool. Now I turned split off somewhere, didn't I? Split is on, split is off in the purifying factory. Oh, in this one, and then he'll take... So we don't end up with like one of all the shards. This guy can just have... Yeah, that's probably not a bad way to do it. He'll fill up, and once he's full, these guys will pick up the slack. I mean, they seem to be working quite good. And our power is dropping. We're down to 155.5. Nice. For our reactor. Now, I haven't set all of my nuclear processing back up. It's all sitting in here. And so that'll be a bit of setup. I'll probably reset that up in between episodes. And move our reactor, I think, to the colony. I think we'll just chuck it like here, and we may or may not end up irradiating the village. I guess we'll find out. I think it'd be cool to have a nuclear reactor in the village, or the colony. And hey, I hadn't actually checked out the level 3 miner. That's pretty nice. You actually doing stuff? Oh, the worker is probably sleeping over in the tavern, and I just haven't been over here since it became daytime. Yeah, having the tavern on the edge of your colony is a bad idea. I mean, I've kind of, like, this is the center of the colony, and I've kind of built everything to one side. So if I was doing more stuff over here, it might be a bit better. But that's fine. We're focusing on ore processing at the moment. But hey, that's pretty cool. And if we checked in our system, we have a bunch of ore that we need to do something with. Coal ore should be getting processed. Are we overloading? Are we just not processing? We're just not processing coal ore. Well, that'll do it. And that was, oh, that's cool. That was used in a enrichment chamber would get us 2. Pulverizer would get us 2. Kind of seems like the thermal pulverizer would be better because we'll get some sulfur as a byproduct. So exporter. This is going to block the system up for a while, but that's okay. Probably some more speed upgrades. Yeah, we get a little bit of sulfur. Unfortunately, yeah, coal's going to block up our system for a while while we get through all of that. Maybe we set up some more pulverizers as well. Okay, so why have you stopped? Why have you stopped? Now, round robin. On. There we go. That's the setting I want. So, round robin means it cycles between connected inventories. So he'll send stuff to this guy, and then he'll send it to this guy. And if we got more of these guys, which I don't know we will. But yeah, it looks like ores are going down, so once these will get processed, then we'll have a better idea of how the system's going to keep up. And how these ender chests are doing, they're fine. We can fit a lot more stuff in there. Alright guys, it begins. Got the beginnings of our ore processing line. And this looks kind of like the setup we'll be doing. Obviously, we're going to have to keep making more. We're going to need more of our, whatever that first machine is. We're going to need more of the liquids that it takes. And yeah, we'll try and stick with ore quadrupling. But we're probably going to have so many ores that doubling is just going to be easier. But I'll try and do tripling for now. We'll see how we go. It's just oxygen, which isn't too bad. That's just an electrolyzer with water. So we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. But we're going to continue working our way towards ridiculous ore processing and ridiculous power. And we'll see what we can come up with. Alright guys, it's been ClassicDuff. You've been watching the episode. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.